People are sick of sitting behind their computer. They may not even realize how sick they are of sitting behind their computer. They want to be somewhere that they have a community, they build friendships, they build. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fit to Grit Cast. I'm your host, Zach Coleman. This is going to be a great one because I love these types of episodes because I'm going to go into a little bit more of a rant. I love ranting. I'm a ranter at heart. I love communicating. I love talking to people. And so this one's going to be a great one. We're going to talk about going beyond fitness, the future of studio and fitness studio growth when it comes to community and experiences, where we're at right now, where we're looking to be at in the future. You know, there was a study done by HFA that found that studios that prioritize their community building and memorable client experiences see retention rates of upwards of 50% higher than those that focus strictly on just their pricing and their fitness services. Wow, we just had 3 videos on talking about pricing, and now I'm talking about 50% increase in retention based off of experience, right? But that's what we're going to get into today. You know, fitness owners, especially when you're just starting out, think that it's just enough to try to offer a good workout plan and a good workout classes. However, in today's day and age, especially 2025, clients are craving something deeper. They're craving connection. We have all this talk about AI getting inserted into the industry. People are still focusing on transactional type ways of bringing in clients, which no one cares about anymore. People are sick of sitting behind their computer. They may not even realize how sick they are of sitting behind their computer. They want to be somewhere that they have a community. They build friendships. They build partnerships. I mean, I'll use this as an example. I have my son, one of my children, 3 years old, dropping him off at daycare, met someone there. As I was leaving to drop him off, I was talking to this guy walking out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just about to go to the gym." I was like, "I'm going too. I'm going to this one." He's like, "So am I." We met there. We did our own thing, our workout. At the end, we had a conversation, and I'm actually in the process right now of thinking about buying some commercial real estate. So I was like, he did it for a living. And so we built this whole conversation. We built a friendship. We started seeing each other more. And so I built a business relationship surrounded by having a community at that studio that I go to. That's the beauty of where we're at in 2025. And so I want everyone to understand how they need to start building these authentic expressions and experiences and how they can really push this with community engagement. Are you tired of unpredictable growth? Really looking at all these other ad agencies and thinking to yourself, hey, why are we bringing in such low quality? Well, guess what? Things have changed. It's not your passion, it's your processes. Go over to gymmark.com right now. Check out our offers where we can help you build a much better sustainable lead flow. And if you sign up now, you can get up to 2 months free within our subscription and performance-based advertisement. Again, go down in the comment section below to sign up for Gymmark, and or just head over to gymmark.com now and set up a call with one of our consultants. So many studios emphasize that workout quality, right? Clients join, but they don't stay long. They do challenges, they last a month. I continued to realize that something was different. So as I continue to build out my sustainable lead model, I tended to look at something a little bit differently. I tended to look at how can I be different than every other digital marketer out there as someone who really cares about this industry, sees it from a different perspective. And I've seen that digital marketing doesn't have to be transactional. All your marketing can have an emphasis of community building efforts into it. And so once I started to build myself deeper connections with my clients, having certain touch points myself, and starting to create more memorable experiences with my customers, it actually started fostering kind of a community. And you have it even better than that. I mean, I'm an agency and a brand agency owner. So mine's even a different type of business. And it's still what I realized to be the most beneficial situation in my business growth. So when it comes to you and your studio, why aren't you really looking at and you may think you are, you may love your audience, your members, but are they your ideal members? So we're going to talk about why community building is key for the long-term success of your studio, how you can kind of start creating memorable experiences that differentiate your studio. And let's talk about some powerful ways you can genuinely build and nurture your existing clientele, your existing members without breaking the bank or taking more time up of your day, right? So why is community building crucial? Well, we're living in a society right now where building community community is something that's missing. We're at a place with social media and online and AI just getting more people to either stick at home or want to get out and meet new people. I mean, I love meeting new people. Oh man, I'm going to tell you this story that I had yesterday. This is a good story and I'll explain a part of that. And that's just really me, but it's a good story. I want you all to hear it. But it's crucial for long-term success. So people want that experience these days. A lot of people want to find somewhere where they don't have to be rushed anymore. They want to go to the gym for an hour, even 2 hours at a time. So you need to start focusing on the experience, not just in your gym, but the places you go. How do you provide a class from a park event? How do you provide an outdoor event, even though you're all indoor studio? How do you provide some sort of experience for someone? And I'm not saying you're going to go to a swap meet or a large event. How do you do that stuff, right? So start looking at that stuff and start looking at event as ways that you can start building a community. You're in a place where you can build $1 million studio in just a 10-mile radius. We literally just launched a client site like 3 months ago. And yeah, they wanted to really push Facebook ads and all that. So we, of course, brought them to one of our partners. And then we also introduced Google ads because it's part of our package. But our big thing is organic because people are trying to find these places. And when you have a little bit of uniqueness to you, you're there. He's now getting like 5 to 10 calls a week. And we just launched his organic situation. It's like just started and he's already getting all these calls. So like people want that community. They want that. So allow yourself to somehow bring in community driven experiences into your plethora. You know, like I said, go to a park, do an event, get an email there, do an assessment outside of your location, find events that really match your ethos and what differentiate you, but do that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say sponsor events, but like sponsor more from a human experience. Oh, trader from this studio is running the marathon this week. Bam. Like you're not really building a community that way, but you're building a community of runners. And then you're getting people from the outside that would be like, oh man, maybe I'll come. Like you run and you're the trainer there. Like I'm going to come there. So that stuff works better than you think. And it builds such traction over time. So continue to build community experiences. I'm just going to continue to push it again. Continue to build community experiences, please. And that comes back to our previous video. How do you utilize visual communication in your messaging as part of that experience? So how do you really create memorable experiences that differentiate your studio? There's a plethora of ways to do this. Going back to my last video, we talked about an example, real life example. We talked about Planet Fitness. A good example with them, and this is how they weed out people that they don't want at their studio, is they talk a lot about how they have a red button in there whenever anyone drops weight or grunts. That's an experience. That's a memorable experience that differentiates Planet Fitness from someone else. You look at SoulCycle, for instance. You know, I was talking to the CEO of SoulCycle a few months back. We spoke at a similar panel and we were having a conversation about experiences, and she was talking about they literally change the way that their studios smell, and then every year when they're going through their goals, they're now able to fluctuate that to see if it affects retention rate. Isn't that crazy? It's not the only thing, but that's an experience. People they're remembering you because of a certain that differentiates their studios from others. So now, and every time someone goes to SoulCycle, right away, the first thing they think of is the way it smells. So think about creating different types of memorable experiences in there, not just having classes, not just having an open gym, not just giving a free workout. And these experiences could be everywhere. So to go off the rails a little bit, think about how you can have pre-purchase experiences. I'm seeing a lot of studios right now offer just the free workout or come in for a free session. And that's like how they like, but everyone does it. I could literally probably in my area, I'm not saying I would, it's take a lot of work, but I could go to every studio just once for free. I do it to meet studio owners. But if I was like a normal person, just to get free workouts all the time. And I think it doesn't differentiate you. I'm not telling you how you can make that different right now off the top of my head, but you want to be able to provide something that's unique and different, and giving a shirt away is not different, I promise you. So think about that when you're kind of going in there. So you want to create memorable experiences and you want to nurture your community from day one. And so this is post-sale type talk. Move away from the birthday. Sorry. everyone sends birthday stuff. You could still send birthday stuff, but you could do it differently, right? Maybe instead of sending an email, you send a personal note. I mean, there's plenty of companies out there that send personal notes right now, and I bet you anything consumers don't get many of those. It's more of a B2B thing. So think about that. Maybe you still do birthday, but it's the experience of how you're doing it that really affects the consumer, not just an email, or different type situations. And I'll use this example that I heard yesterday. Chewy, which is a dog food company, they do yearly subscriptions on their dog food. And you know what usually happens? Someone gets a subscription, they have a dog, they get dog food delivered to their door every month, but eventually the dog dies. They forget to cancel their subscription because the dog dies, so they pay for an extra thing of food. It shows up at the door. They call, my dog died. So what does Chewy do? What they do is they cancel, they refund them that last month. They send them a bouquet of flowers or a card of some sort that says, really sucks that you just lost your animal. You know, a lot of veterinarians do that too when they pass away. So think about that kind of stuff. And how can you do that within the studio environment? You could do something along the lines of, how do you keep these people longer? How many times do people cancel a membership and come back 3 months later, right? So you could do something along the lines of, if somebody cancels a membership, instead of just allowing them to cancel, the experience in most of these studios like LA Fitness is horrible. You can't do it online. You have to come in. I get it. You don't want people doing it online a lot, and that's fine. But once they cancel, maybe you send them some sort of, we are so sorry. We hated to see you go, you know, no hard feelings. We want you to be able to continue your journey. Because they're already gone, consider giving them a discount at half price or something. Yeah, you don't want them to get around and it get to everyone. I understand that. But maybe you offer them some sort of complimentary workout when they're ready, and say, hey, we'd love to have you back in the future. When you're ready to come back, we're going to make it as easy for you as possible. Here's my personal number, and here's your first training session on us when you come back. It sets a little bit different than just a free workout, and you're showing your love to them. So there's ways you can continue to nurture outside of just sending out an email every year that says happy birthday, right? Yeah, you can call, things of that nature, send certain situations. But you know what you could do? Just offer a free month randomly here to there. So here's a powerful way that we have done this. What we continue to do for our clients, and we continue to preach to them that they do, that gives them better pre-sale opportunities, but also gives them better post-sale retention. First off, you set it in your schedule to make sure that you wait till a person is at your studio at a certain amount of time, 3 months, something like that. And then you set an automation where you say, hey, you've been here 3 months. We're glad that you're here. Now that you've been here 3 months, we'd love if you could give us a review. And because you've committed to our studio for 3 months, once you give us a review, if you bring a friend in, like one of your close friends that would love to be a part of the studio too, we'll give them their first month free. Or we'll give you guys, if you have like set rooms or something, we'll let you use the room with the sauna or something for 1 month free, or something like that, where you're allowing the review to boost you on Google. You're allowing it to build a KPI of advocacy for this person, but then they have to bring someone in after the fact. So you're looking at it as it being a gift to bring in a friend in and give it to them for free, not a courtesy, but a gift. So that's what the whole thing is with utilizing that. And that's a creative way that, from human psychology, we have seen reviews have multiple different abilities and still be one of the most powerful ways that you can grow your studio over time. But that's this video in a nutshell. I think this was a very passionate one, just very much me just talking out loud to you guys. Again, Zach Coleman, Fit to Grit Cast. You know, I really do appreciate all you being on. And, you know, I love some continued questions. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'd love to answer anything you have. I'll even create a video on questions if you have anything about your studio you want answered. Put them down in the comments down below. Also, just subscribe or follow. If you're watching on the podcast, you know, follow. We're on all major platforms, Spotify, iTunes. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. You know, we're continuing to try to grow our efforts towards my community, which is studio owners, and really helping them. So the more people that subscribe to this, the better. And if you haven't already subscribed to get notifications on this and hear a little bit of a story with our interviews with other studio owners and other people in the industry, please do so. Go to our website and do that. That will also be on the comments below. But again, I'm Zach Coleman, Fit to Grit Cast. As always, stay gritty.